The other people, this is the names of the people who were involved. That was from the front of this article. So that was pretty cool. Pretty amazingly cool how they did the attack, very sophisticated, and pretty cool in terms of how law enforcement was on it right away. And then Martin King. Now this is where the question comes up about disclosure, because I know Postman is a payment processor. I know of a case, and Dave and I were talking about this, about disclosure of intellectual property stuff. This is actually a financial fraud. I know of a case where somebody publicly reported a breach, brand name you would all know. I talked to their CSO. He's like, Rich, we were breached, but it wasn't us. It was one of our transaction partners. I think it was the process. It was our customers, which is why we had to notify them. There were 4 or 5 other competitors that also had their information breached in that incident, and not one of them publicly reported. Further needs.
Why is the government notified on them and not on the processor in this case?
I'm trying to remember the details of it. Yeah, and that's my fuzzy memory. I think it was because these are financial services companies, so it was something about it was part of their ecosystem. It wasn't a straight credit card processor situation, which is why I'm trying to remember where it was. So none of those other companies disclosed. So this is why we've got to be cautious with the statistics. We really think, maybe 10% is my guess. 30% tops is what we disclose. Then we have intellectual property laws. Wall Street Journal reported the F-35 planes were stolen from Lockheed. Now, Lockheed claims the planes weren't stolen, that it was just maintenance manuals. Nobody knows for sure. Either they're covering their butts, or China has the F-35. They certainly know how to fuel up the F-35 if they manage to get any of them from us physically. It can happen, I don't know. And then, moving along to August 17, 2009, Gonzalez is finally indicted. We have the Choice Point breach, October 28, 2009. Remember all the way back? Those of you who've been here the whole time in the timeline? Choice Point kind of helped start all of this. They got breached again, and that's when they turned off their system for 4 months. And they had multiple months of, having to report. I think it's 2 years. They have every other month they have to report their security status to the NBC. Then we have the attack of the APT, who were losing their stuff from China. The first time I was exposed to this was in about 2005, 2006. I was over somewhere in Asia, I can't disclose. Met with people, and they told me the Chinese were stealing some of their stuff. And then I don't have people coming to me. I work sometimes with large enterprises. They don't come and say China's hacking all this stuff. Actually, now they're starting to admit it more. They would be asking weird questions about DRM and different data security technologies and stuff. That's my focus. And those of us who have been doing this in the industry for a while know this stuff has been going on since at least 05, 06. Probably earlier. That's as far back as I have personal involvement with companies who have dealt with the advanced hacking techniques from China. They focus on intellectual property. I like to say Russia steals our cash and China steals our future. And then finally, Gonzalez gets sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. So this is 2010. His hacking spree started in 1999 in high school. He's 27 years old now. And when this is actually out of his sentencing, that he had to forfeit $1.65 million, condominium in Miami, a blue 2006 BMW 330i automobile, IBM Toshiba laptop computer, a Glock 27 firearm, a Nokia cell phone, a Tiffany diamond ring, and 3 Rolex watches. So that's the end of the timeline. It's a little bit more here that's going on in the world. We're finally starting to get insight into what's really going on out there. The case studies help a bit. What helps more is the Verizon Breach Report, the Trustwave Breach Report. These are incident response organizations anonymizing and throwing their statistics out of when they're called in. Now, these are still skewed, and that's why I still do this whole presentation. These guys mostly deal with retail and financial customers related to these CI. We find things such as most breaches are discovered by third parties. 91% of breaches Trustwave was involved with, it was someone like National Australia Bank discovering the breach, not the people who were breached themselves discovering the breach. These frauds are determined from the outside. Law enforcement, 69% Verizon. And at different customer bases, those are huge numbers. Huge numbers. We have most attacks are not considered highly difficult. Trustwave didn't give a number. Verizon said 83% of the attacks could have been stopped with following standard security stuff. Not crazy, 0-day threat protection, just standard stuff. SQL injection, application level attacks, remote access. This is one of the biggest ones Trustwave was dealing with. Trustwave, they had a lot of incidents where people were, when you're a small retailer, you don't set up your own payment processing set up remote access because they want to remote in to manage the system for you. Most of them use default usernames and passwords, or a large percentage of them. That gives full access to the transaction system. Partners are a high risk vector, partner networks, or, for example, mistakes play a huge role. Memory parsing malware is one of the bigger things. You can actually watch stuff in memory if you're in a non-privileged part, the privileged section of the system. So I like to divide this up into disclosure errors. We start with bad luck and trouble. And even before people start paying attention to 1386, the only way you got to the press is if you really screwed up like egghead. There's no mandates to disclose. We have very few disclosures. Then we get into what I call the land of the lost. Everybody cared about backup tapes and laptops. That's great. Turns out that's not where most of the fraud is. This Gonzalez student showed up, perpetuated all of the biggest public hacks that we had over like a 3-year time period. And then now we've got the whole rise of the triads trying to come in. It's not the triads, it's actually the government, but I couldn't figure out a good cheeky name. I put on my slide. And it started way back when. You see it kind of overlap. If we look at this, and then, when I'm talking with people about how they're getting breached and what's coming up, we find things like data protection and misaligned. How many people are deploying DLP to protect email? Why? How many email breaches did I have on this list? You look at the numbers. Internal politics, lack of management are nearly insurmountable by these organizations. I'm like, well, you should do X, Y, Z. We can't really do that. Why? Well, the business won't do it. So does the business care about this? Well, yeah, great. What do you expect me to tell you? The magic black box? I mean, Harry Potter is not going to write in on a freaking unicorn and protect your data. You are on your own here. If you can't get to this process changes, you're out of luck. We are seeing some organizations take it seriously, but I'm telling you, a lot of them don't, and that's unfortunate. I have 2 types of calls. A very cool call where I work with a client. A lot of the cloud stuff is along these lines, figure out how to do secure systems and everything else. And then I have the ones that I describe as group therapy. They want to just talk to an outsider to tell them that they know they need to do the right thing and they can't do the right thing. And then the call pretty much ends up being a bunch of therapy. So we're seeing definitely increases in interest in protection of intellectual property, but a lot of that is kind of stuff being public. So I learned a lot through doing all this research and watching these things. And that's what I kind of led to what I call my personal security guiding principles. One, don't expect human behavior to change ever. There are always going to be bad guys. They're always going to come after us. Good guys are always going to make mistakes. So no matter how good we are at following best practices, we're not going to be able to follow all the best practices. You cannot design your security to get rid of all the vulnerabilities in the system, because you cannot survive with defense alone. Where we have cases where things get better is because we put people in jail. We have international law enforcement cooperation. We have people actually going out after the bad guys. Not all threats are equal, and all checklists are wrong, which is a problem with PCI. We don't really take always a risk-based approach to these things. You cannot eliminate all vulnerabilities, and you will be breached. Let's skip the next slide for time. You can find it later. It's done in the blog post. Really what this comes down to is the biggest thing I think we need to focus on is monitoring, is incident management, because there's always going to be some new way to get in. You're never going to be able to stop all of these things. No matter how much we study the past, there's going to be some new attack, some new way that we can get in. So, thank you for the time. Sorry, a bit rush at the end. A lot of content. First time I've given this version of the presentation, but that is it.